What an interesting panel conversation. I'm supposed to shift to talk now about hybrid cloud architectures, but I just wanted to touch on a couple of things that were really exciting about what Greg and John were talking about. This idea around sustainability is really front and center in a lot of people's minds right now. But the tail end of the panel was really interesting to me because there was a focus on internal sustainability that often gets overlooked as we think about ESG overall. This notion of building the right kind of architecture that allows the business to begin to focus on cultivating its people. You know, you join a business because you're looking for an inclusive culture that you can be a part of, that celebrates you as a human, you as an individual, regardless of your ethnicity, your race, your religion, whatever. You want that, but at the same time, you want to be challenged. You want opportunities to be creative because as humans, that's what we want to do. And when I walk into an organization where the emphasis is on building a consistent foundation for which data and applications can reside, it immediately pivots you away from having to be the specialist who knows how to work with that equipment to then instead solving bigger IT challenges that the organization hired you for. It's a very powerful thing that you can offer to another human. Sorry, I can't promote you because you're the only person who knows how to work this. What did he say, 1984 mainframe? I was like, man, does Greg know that IBM makes mainframes? But that's okay. We're going to let that one go. We're going to let that one go. All the bill goes to Greg. But I like the idea of what they were talking about, that sustainability does not necessarily stop at your environmental, your social aspects and what you do to deliver certificates of green. There's an internal certificate of green that you can offer your employees that I think is more powerful than any conversation that we can have in this room about what's the right technology to run. Is it x86? Is it power? Is it mainframe? You know, you name it. Really building on the human capital that you have will create a domino effect that will impact not only the business's success, but it will change the way that you think about modernizing your IT environment. Believe it or not, each and every one of you in this room has already adopted hybrid cloud technologies. Every one of you. In fact, you even have it probably right at your disposal. I have compute, storage, networking. When I am using this device right here, this leash as I would call it, to access my company's portal, I'm an edge to my organization, an edge device. When I use it to work on my own personal activities, I am now a hybrid data center connected to the cloud, to some kind of SaaS-based application. So the idea of change to adopt hybrid architectures is not impossible. We do it every day. But I want to challenge your thinking about this. Traditional conversations around architectures would often say, well, do you run an on-prem data center? Do you run a private cloud? Do you run a hybrid cloud? Have you adopted cloud technologies or cloud-adjacent service providers? Are you using multi-clouds, super clouds, intergalactic clouds, whatever they want to call them? It doesn't matter. See, that's the way that we deliver data and applications. What's really hybrid is the applications and data that your businesses reside in and are a part of driving out to the market. Now that's an interesting way to think about things because infrastructure can come and go. Cloud providers can come and go. You may choose to be born in the cloud and operate solely in the cloud. You may choose to build traditional data centers and migrate slowly that organic infrastructure to cloud-based providers. But kind of coming back around to what we talked about and the impacts on human capital, there's a huge divide now. The manner in which you deploy and you manage architectures on-premise is completely different from the interfaces that you may use in a cloud provider, trusting that the scale-out architectures that they've deployed will do what they say. The manner in which you deploy applications, from aggregated to siloed, you know, if you're looking at it from an on-prem perspective, to web scale, if you're out in the cloud, completely different. And then certainly the way that you manage and consume all of that infrastructure is different. I may have point-based people, solutions, et cetera, that are all working together on-prem, whereas in the cloud, it's API everything. It's complete infrastructure as code at that point. The way that you close that divide, and as you think about where the industry is going, we're just, you know, in 2021 till, you know, what we expect next year, 60% of organizations will adopt a hybrid cloud architecture of some kind, if they haven't already. They're going to be looking for not only capacity-intensive workloads to be supported, the aggregation of multiple data sets, to Greg's point about looking for signals in the noise, They're also looking for opportunities or platforms upon which they can build and deploy. To John's point about being able to rapidly get from a medium-sized business to an enterprise through rapid development and innovation. And what I would share with you here is that closing that divide is all around consistency. Consistency in the kind of architectural choices that you're going to make so that as it runs in the on-premise data center, so will it run on the edge. So will it run in the cloud or a cloud-adjacent provider. That enables you to create once and deploy anywhere, whether it's scripting, policies, strategies, you name it. What it also allows you to do is really maximize the human capital that you have. I no longer need to rely on specialists to know how to press which button and type in which command, but instead, I now have an opportunity to take these people that are highly specialized and give them harder problems to challenge. Open up spaces for them to be collaborative with their other peers, to really look for new ways of doing things. And so getting back to that culture, a culture where nothing is sacred, everything is an option to change. John, no matter how hard it is for us to change as humans, knowing that whenever I step into an organization, I have the flexibility to raise my voice with the architecture, the data set, and the application stack that we have to address a customer outcome is what keeps me at an organization. The salary comes with it, the job promotions, those will all happen. But scratch my mind, that's what I want. And to do that, I want to create a foundation for you, and by I mean IBM, that unlocks the speed and the agility of IT, that interconnects things naturally, very organically. And by things, I mean applications and data and power systems and x86 systems and storage and networking, you name it. I want that all to be naturally interconnected together so that we can focus on what I would call an information and application supply chain, getting those really critical elements of the business, those digital assets, out to the appropriate person no matter where they are. I want to do this in a way that helps you de-risk your business so that you can drive better resiliency, so that you can recover quickly from a ransomware attack, not because you just happen to have some data laying around that you can restore from, but to do that based on verified and validated points of restore that align to regulatory responsibilities that you're obligated to adhere to. I want to be able to demonstrate guarantees to you that ensure that you get your data back up and running quickly so that your business can return to operation without delay. And do all of this with a very myopic focus on sustainability so that you can achieve your green IT initiatives. I could wax on about this because it is deeply, deeply important to me as a human being, let alone a representative of the company that I work for. But I also believe that sustainability isn't just about green IT strategies. It's also about giving back the precious time that you've donated here. Every minute you spend is a minute you don't get a chance to get back. So make sure you make it count.